My career in Maritime's changed my life because it's allowed me to see things that people don't see every day. It's allowed me to meet good people and expand my knowledge and my experience.
Don't be put off by what you think a stereotypical career in maritime might look like. There's lots you can get involved in, and it's a really exciting industry to be in.
My name's Jay Crichton, I'm 27 years old. I'm an electrical engineer at the Peelport Group in Liverpool. When I was in school, I never knew what I wanted to be when I was older. My dad's technology teacher suggested doing engineering. Peelport have supported my career development by allowing me to do on-the-job training and on-the-job learning by going back to college one day a week to do further education.
Well, Jay come to us, she had some previous experience, but she's done really well to pick up on our own bespoke technology, if you like. Fitted in really well. We've had quite a lot of apprentices and trainees that have won awards. They get all the support from the business that we can give them. I'm a prime example myself. I was part of the development scheme going back to the late 80s with the apprenticeship with the old Mersey Docks and Harbour Company. I've obviously progressed up the chain. I'm now a manager, been a manager now for nearly 20 years on this site.
My name is Olivia Baden and I am an associate solicitor in the commercial team at Bradners.
Liv has been an excellent training, absolutely fabulous. She's working her way through the career ranks very quickly, which is a clear sign of a lawyer performing.
Before joining Bradners, I hadn't done any sort of maritime-related work, and then having the opportunity to do a secondment at Peelport has really made me realise how much of an interesting industry this is.
There are so many entry points and ways into the maritime industry within the Liverpool City region, from apprenticeships at businesses like Canal Airs or Peelport, in the traditional roles that you might think of when you talk about maritime, to roles that are office-based, working for shipping lines as customs clerks or administrators. We are seeing huge changes within the maritime industry that are bringing about a green revolution, but also a shift towards technology. So there are great opportunities for young people to be part of that and to drive the agenda forward.
Some of my friends work in 9-to-5 offices, which isn't the lifestyle for me. I don't want to be sat down at a computer desk. I want to be out there, hands-on, learning different skills every single day.
Whenever I speak to people about this job, they always say, I'd never speak about my job like that. You must really enjoy what you do. Yeah, it makes you realise what you're involved with when you speak to other people who are sort of like stuck at the desk.
Kieran Martin, 19, and marine technician. So I was working in a pub before. I didn't really want to do it for the rest of my life, cleaning up dishes. I met someone from here and they said, look, there's a marine engineer apprenticeship going. So I got interested, went for the interview, and luckily here I am today. I've been on the likes of SD Victoria and aircraft carriers that have just been brought in. I've done jobs, loads of different experiences that you won't get anywhere else.
A career in maritime can take you internationally. We deliver services to the Royal Navy, so we support movements in and out of the 3 ports in Portsmouth, in Devonport and Clyde. I've been linking up quite heavily with local schools to make sure we've got amazing careers for people coming into the maritime space, which is one of the most exciting places to come and work. Certainly I really want to shout about and want to make sure that other people get to know about.
I am Tom Courtier, I am 28 years old and I'm a mechanical engineer at Kinetic. My role here is very varied. I'm a mechanical engineer by trade, but I also do a lot of scuba diving here. I'm involved with a lot of hands-on work with the tools, underwater and above water, and also do a lot of design work. From university, I was applying for jobs, and like anyone else, I put in tens and tens of applications. Kinetic was actually the first company that came back to me, and they offered me the job the next day. being really keen, I took it straight off their hand.
It's great having the youth coming through. For a young person thinking about a career in maritime engineering particularly, there's a couple of main routes. It covers a wide range of abilities and interests. I started work when I was 17. I applied for an apprenticeship through the Ministry of Defence. I've been here 41 years today. Some people would say, how can you maintain that interest for that long? I think the variety of work in Kinetic is such that how can you fail not to be interested?
Maritime is an exciting option for young people. You could be the captain of one of the biggest vessels on the water. You could be designing a new super yacht. You could even be someone who's going to unlock new technologies to help our oceans. It is an industry which needs to draw on the talent that we have today to help us shape the industry for tomorrow.
It's a no-brainer to have one of the leading maritime education centres at the hub of maritime activity in the United Kingdom. At Solent we have a one-stop shop for maritime education. We have one of the best simulation centres in the world, and in addition to that we have state-of-the-art classroom facilities for all our students. In today's day and time you need cutting-edge technology to cope with the latest that's out over there. It is an industry that offers equal opportunities. So if you have a dream, then the industry is awaiting you, and we will welcome you aboard straight away.
My first aid, my firefighting, my sea survival, all of them qualifications used within everyday life. Age of 16, I've been given them opportunities and taken them on board, and it's definitely set me for life.
I wouldn't be doing certain things without being here at the job. I mean, especially with the scuba diving, I probably wouldn't be a diver without coming here. And to know that the work we do is contributing to lives at sea is very beneficial. We touch on a lot of things, but it's barely a tip of the iceberg in the maritime industry.
What I love about the maritime industry is I love the water. It keeps me by the ocean, which I really love, and it's got the potential to take me all over the world, which is a really exciting prospect.
I was quite worried in my last year of school because I knew that I didn't want to do A-levels, and I knew that I wanted to get an apprenticeship. So I'm really happy that I was confident enough to believe in myself that I could actually achieve it.
My career path didn't start in maritime. I started off as an outdoor education instructor and decided I wanted to do a bit of a different career path. So I found a love in electronics or electrics, just building camper vans for a hobby. And after doing a bit of work experience down here, they offered me almost like a traineeship, so they tailored that to myself. And through that, I've gone away to do my various qualifications.
Bex actually approached us about joining the company. She showed interest in becoming a marine electrician. She came to us for a couple of weeks trial. We liked what we saw, so we decided to work out a programme where she'd join us in an apprenticeship training scheme.
I've never had any sort of barriers. I've kind of always believed that if you give something your absolute utmost and you believe in yourself, you can achieve anything you really want to.
Young people, I think, are the bloodline and the future of the company.
My name's Joe, and I'm a first-year marine pipe fitter at Bath International. I'll say the main benefits is that you're gaining invaluable qualifications as well as a competitive wage. From the first day we've been supported in college. We've had lots of help in the workshop. Finding the task hard, you can get all the support you need. I've never been a big fan of math, however, I've been helped quite significantly. I'd say it's been very different from coming from school straight into a working environment, because I've got to work with people at different ages who've had different experiences themselves. So I think that really helps when you're in the working environment together.
We tend to target school leavers as a general, but that's not a be-all and end-all. We take any age. We have already had some of our apprentices already gone on to being leading hands and first-line managers.
In the last 12 years, we've supported 35,000 youngsters from 14 to 16 years old with careers advice. Maritime adds more to the economy than both rail and aviation combined. Working in maritime is exciting, rewarding and unlike any other industry. With the sector expected to double its size to 3 trillion by 2030, you too can be a part of that sector that's quite literally leading Britain.
Responsible for enabling 95% of the UK's global trade, maritime touches every part of our lives.
It's really exciting for me to be able to know that I've got a place that I can call home and it's also a workplace for me. It's amazing. I love Cornwall, love my work.
And I have no regrets whatsoever of taking the apprenticeship, and I'm really excited to see what it brings in the future.
If you're at the same place doing the same job every single day, I can see how that get boring. It's been boring for me in other roles previous to this, but Kinetic has given me the opportunity to do a lot more than I've previously done in other roles. I'm the newest instrumentation engineer at Kinetic Hasler. I currently provide electronic and electrical support to any of the experiments or tasks going on site. I'm based here at Hasler 3 days a week, and I also work 1 day a week at the 5-metre wind tunnel at Farnborough, and I spend 1 day a week at a local college studying for my HNC. Previous places that I've worked have never really classed it as economically viable for me to have more training in the workplace. So it just goes to show that if Kinetic say they're going to do it, then it will get done. Since joining Kinetic, I've found no barriers. Everything I've asked for in regards to tooling, training, whatever I need, there's never been questions, it's just done. In my current role, I've ended up covering electrical support of pretty much every area that the site currently does. You don't just work on submarines or just work on carriers or just work on a model. Your job here is you support everyone. I've been allowed to work on a lot more than I could ever realistically look at if I'd stayed in my previous role. Until you do it, you don't know how much you don't know. What you want to do, you can do it.
What I enjoy about working at Kinetic is the diversity. There's a lot of different things going on within certainly my role and the team members within my role. You could be soldering 1 minute, building, testing the next minute, and going on trials in foreign countries the next. We do hydrodynamic testing here for our customers to make sure that they have a vessel that is safe for all the crew that are on board and manoeuvres in a particular way that doesn't cause any hazard.
I've worked on a number of different projects. It's really great because you get to see something come into fruition, because you take something from an initial design and you can steer that right through to the end product. In all the companies I previously worked at, all you'd be doing is working on something that somebody else in your company made. So this has been a great opportunity to be able to work on quite a diverse range of projects and different roles. The work we do is broad, right from the work that Lloyd's doing at Hasler, right through to the in-service ships and submarines. We do a broad spectrum across the group. If you're prepared to not sit still, then there's an amazing development path ahead, and that's up to you whether you take it.
Since joining Kinetic, I've found no barriers. If you've not done something before, it's always going to be interesting. This job allows me to do something different every single time. If you're willing to put the work in, the amount that they're willing to give back, it's almost limitless.
Hello, I'm here this afternoon. It's Lorna from Maritime UK, and I'm here this afternoon with Amelia and Hebe. Amelia, can you tell us your full name, who you work for, and what your job title is, please?
Hello, my name's Amelia Gould. I work for BAE Systems, where I am the Naval Ships Combat Systems Director.
Fantastic. And Hebe, could I ask you the same question?
Hello, I'm Hebe Wright. I'm currently in Naval Ships Combat Systems and working on a project called Maritime Multilink as the Assistant Project Manager.
Fantastic. Okay. So our first question was, what drew you to the maritime sector? Amelia, can I ask you first, please?
Yeah, as a child, I was always interested in sailing, and I found out that I could go sailing for 50p a week if I joined the Sea Cadets. So I joined the Sea Cadets so I can continue sailing dinghies, and that drew me into the Navy, who sponsored me through university. And I've never looked back since to have a career where I could still be on the sea, stay on the sea and support the sea. Has been fantastic.
Wonderful. And Hebe, same question to you. What drew you to the sector?
Unlike Amelia, I was never particularly drawn to the sea, but I've always lived by the sea, being southern based. And it was the apprenticeship scheme that really drew me in. So it was more the defence sector I was interested in the first place. And then the fact that every single day I can enable our Navy now to go out and protect our nations is just makes me really proud. So I enjoy being in the maritime sector, but I was never like looking for a job in the maritime sector. I've always enjoyed the defence industry though.
Yeah, in my experience, people don't recognise what the maritime sector is, and that's what my job's all about. Yeah. So anyway, we'll move on to the next one. So Amelia, you said you started with the Navy. So could you describe how you got that first position, what your entry point was, please?
So I joined the Navy, as I say. I applied for a university sponsorship, and they sponsored me through university to study my engineering degree.
Okay, so were you 18 at that point?
I was, yes. Yeah. In fact, I passed my Admiralty interview board on my 18th birthday and got dunked in the pool to celebrate.
Fantastic. Then you knew you were in the right place. Yeah, this sounds like fun. And so, Hebe, what was your entry point? What was your story?
My entry point was straight out of college. I joined BAE Systems on their 5-year project management degree apprenticeship. So I started with BAE Systems about 6 years ago now. Excellent.
Okay. And next question then. So Amelia, what's been your career highlight so far?
Gosh, that's a really hard question because there's been so many. I mean, probably two I'll pick out. One from being in the Navy and returning back on HMS Ark Royal, an aircraft carrier, after a long deployment, which included the war in Iraq, and just seeing, so many people lining the seafront in Portsmouth with waving flags and welcoming us and just really celebrating, which links to the second one, which is the job I do now, supporting the Navy, of seeing ships sail with equipment we have designed, engineered, fitted, and making sure that they sail off and do their deployment with what we've done is just always a highlight, and hearing how they're using them and keeping safe because of what we do is a massive highlight every day.
Amazing. And Hebe, what's your career goal?
So this question, I guess for me, I've always been quite goal orientated. So I've got like short-term goals, long-term goals. So medium term, I guess I really would like to manage a project of my own in the next few years or so, whether that be short, small or big. I'd love to take on a big one, probably go start with a small one though, obviously. But actually one day I hope to be a director myself. I want to make sure people are looked after and we deliver to our customers what we are so passionate about. And that's what I hope to do one day.
Fantastic. And Amelia, who's been the most important person in your career journey so far?
Wow. Obviously at home has been my husband, helping me through my career, supporting the children and being around. We have a very balanced relationship, how we support the children, looking after each other and sharing them, which has enabled me to continue, doing my job and everything else, and him managing his career. And at work, probably the people who've put faith in me and given me jobs that I never thought I'd be able to do, and showed that I could do them.
Fantastic. And Hebe, same question to you. Who's been the most important person so far?
So I'd say at home, initially it was my uncle. He inspired me into the business world of things. Not a lot of my family are in corporate business, engineering or anything. But at work, it's actually having a mentor. So I very early on knew I wanted to be a leader one day and like enable a team and make sure I can deliver. But actually having a mentor to then bounce ideas off of and get different perspectives, get like pull on their experience, really like helped my development along in the last few years. So yeah, I just got to thank some mentors that I've had across BAE Systems now. They're really beneficial and absolutely amazing people.
And you'll be a mentor as well one day as well, I assume.
You never know.
Yeah, it's in your list. I bet it is. The last question, what would you tell your 16-year-old self if you could? Amelia.
Don't be afraid to say yes to things that terrify you, and say no also to things that you really don't feel are aligned with what you want to do. So basically, really think through things. If you gut, go with your gut.
Yeah, trust your judgment. And Hebe?
You'll have challenges along the way, but just stay determined, stay focused, is what I would say to myself.
Fantastic. Thank you both for your time. I really appreciate it. Hi, it's Lorna from Maritime UK. I'm here with Abby, who's going to talk to us about her apprenticeship. Hi, Abby.
Hi, I'm Abby and I'm the Digital and Events Apprentice at Maritime.
Fantastic. So, question number one, what drew you into the maritime sector?
So first I went to sixth form and I was in my first year, and one of my friends had mentioned they were going into an apprenticeship in maritime, and I started looking at what type of apprenticeships they had. And firstly, I started off at Peel Ports, so I was doing digital marketing there, and then an opportunity came up at Maritime to do digital marketing and events. And I'd done a few events at Peel and I really enjoyed it. So now I'm at Maritime.
Perfect. So you've talked about coming in as an apprentice. How long is your programme? How far through it? And when will you have completed that?
So I'm on a 3-year apprenticeship. I'm currently a year in and I've nearly finished my level 3 in digital marketing. After this, I'll be going on to my level 4 to do digital marketing. And then after that, I'll be doing an IDM in digital marketing, and then I'll have completed my apprenticeship.
Fantastic. So you're going to come out with a professional qualification?
Yes.
Brilliant. So what's your career goal, Abby? Who is Abby going to be? What would your dream job be in 10 years time, 20 years time?
So in about 10 years time, I'd like to be either a marketing manager, or as I've now just came into the event side, something to do with events. I haven't fully submerged myself into the event side of my career yet, but that is definitely something that I'm interested in as well. So either marketing manager and have a team that I work with, or an events sort of job.
Creating events is really good fun. Stressful, yeah, but really good fun.
Yeah, worth it.
So who's been the most important person in your journey so far?
Definitely my mum. So when I was in sixth form, I was a bit unsure about going to do an apprenticeship, because we were told that the only way you'd get a job is to go to university, do a degree, and then go from there. So I was a bit unsure, because none of my friends had really done apprenticeships and it's kind of new to me. So my mum always supported me. She was like, do whatever you want to do. And at the end of the day, if you don't like it, you can always go back to sixth form. I'm here to support you. And that meant a lot.
Brilliant. Last question. What would you tell your 16-year-old self if you could? What advice would you give yourself when you were 16 and making those choices?
I definitely tell myself to stop worrying about not doing the standard route. That was a big thing. I was always panicking about the thought of, imagine if everything goes wrong and I don't like it, just to go with the flow and to stop worrying. And if I didn't like it, it'd be completely fine. There's always something else. But thankfully, I've loved it, so I'm lucky.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Hello, it's Lorna Wagner here. I'm the Programme Manager for Careers and Outreach with Maritime UK, and I'm happy to say that I have someone with us today that's going to answer 5 questions in 5 minutes. So let's get started. Would you like to tell us who you are and what you do?
Hello, I'm Victoria Dittman and I'm an engineer officer of the watch. I've previously sailed on offshore oil rig sector. I've served in the wind farm sector, as well as now currently in the yachting industry, along with having experience in shoreside.
Wow, that's quite a list. Can I ask what drew you to the maritime sector in the first place?
So when I was 5 years old, I moved with my family to the coast, and I've been dinghy sailing, and now we do yachting. And we also, when I was 13, I was involved with the Sea Cadet unit locally in my local community, where I carried out drills and other activities along with engineering and sports.
And that got you hooked?
Yes, it's the uniform.
It's the uniform. Can I ask what your entry point into the sector was?
So I went straight from secondary school, and so completing my GCSEs, I went straight into Warsash Maritime Academy to carry out a high national diploma in marine engineering, along with my MCA tickets in order to work on board as an officer.
And was that the right thing to do at 16?
So I was so passionate and so driven for a career. I built myself into what direction I wanted to. However, academically and my age was not on my side. So therefore, I would recommend going to college and doing AS levels, A levels, try and build up or diplomas to build up a base or carry out water sports qualifications, powerboating, sailing, to get you established with what you're working on.
Excellent. And can I ask what your career goal is? Are you going to be Captain Victoria one day?
So currently at the moment, I am sailing as a second engineer due to the kilowatt power on the yacht. However, I am looking next year to do my second engineer's ticket, along with progress into chief engineer role. I do have yachting as in RYA qualifications, and I will eventually get my yacht masters. So on smaller vessels, I'll be able to be engineer as well as captain, maybe.
Excellent. And last question. So if you could give your 16-year-old self some careers advice, what would you say?
I would tell myself, along with everyone else, to stick at what your pathway is. Build up your stages of training, because the end goal is always worth it. Stick at college, stick into your studies, because the end result is amazing.
And believe in yourself.
Yes, the passion goes a long way.
That's fantastic, Victoria. Thank you for your time.
Struggling there, a boat. Oh, it's that surveyor thing. We want that out the water. We want that out the water the day. There you are. So I'll just point at the screen and get a few shots of that. 268.
A nice view up here, isn't it?
Aye, lovely.
Aye.
I'll just point at the screen what's that on your camera.
It's your camera.
Yeah, so it's, you've got a good view from here really when you clear the camera. Yeah. And you've got like 62 degrees on your boom there. That's in snail.
Even in steel, you know, it still runs fast.
Is that yeah? How much fuel you got? 50%?
Just have one. Gets through to 30.
Quite smooth, isn't it?
Yeah?
Quite smooth. Sort of. I only realise I'm moving by looking outside the window.
Let me just get squared up and square it off.
Just in the middle.
The photographer lad's just waiting to get off there, right?
If you could just do a bit on the joystick, move that to the right and the left, if that's
not
okay.
yet.
No, well, when it's safe to do so.
Right, you're safe now.
And then just a bit of movement on the. Let's get that zoomed out a little bit. Yeah, a bit of movement on the left stick there. If that's okay.
The other boys in working on their key.
Don't want to be happy. What is that?
Fender. What? One of the sausage vendors.
Good afternoon, it's Lorna from Maritime UK. I'm here with Noor this afternoon. Hi, Noor.
Hi, Lorna.
Hello. Can you start off by telling us your full name, what your job title is, and tell us who you work for, please?
Yep, so I'm Noor Kimmett and I'm owner of Seaworthy Consulting. It's a marine recruitment agency.
Fantastic. So can I start off by asking you what drew you to the maritime sector?
Yeah, so I actually graduated doing embroidery and I wanted to raise a bit of money to work as a designer in London because at the time I had to work for free. All graduates had to work for free and I stumbled along marine recruitment. So I thought I'd do it for a year and then go back into doing embroidery. And 9 years later, I am still in the sector doing marine recruitment.
Fantastic, but running your own business now.
Yeah.
So did you start out as a temp or was it a full-time job or?
So I started out as a recruitment consultant and I did that role for 4 years. I'd always wanted to be a businesswoman. So I had a few years ago, it was a kind of toss up between, do I go back into jewellery? Do I carry on setting up a business in recruitment? And then it dawned on me, there were so many vessel owners that were contacting me saying, where have you disappeared? We've got vacancies that no one can fill but yourself. And I realized there was a niche in the market. So I approached the Princess Trust, who are a charity that help young people to set up businesses. I completed a program called the Enterprise Program, and that helped me set up Seaworthy Consulting.
Wow, fantastic. So what's your career goal and what have been your career highlights so far?
So my career goal is to run a successful and honest and integral business within the maritime sector. My real policy and ethos is to be available and to advise clients and candidates both equally, because I feel like some agencies always sway towards business rather than giving back to our seafarers. And I always call them our seafarers. So my goal is to make sure that the business carries on gaining success and has a good reputation with the industry, because that's very important to me.
Fantastic. And your career highlight to date? What's been your best day?
I think the best day is when I posted up our second birthday and actually Anika and I, who's my colleague, dressed up in PPE. And I think on LinkedIn, we got over 1,000 likes and the nicest comments from both seafarers and from candidates. But there was over, I think it got viewed nearly 57,000 times. And it just showed that as a small business, you know, we don't need to pay fast amounts, but on social media, we're clearly liked as an agency. For me, that was a career highlight because it shows, whoa, I went from nothing to having an image that was viewed that many times. So it was definitely a career highlight.
So you went viral.
That's exactly it, we went viral.
Yeah. So who's been the most important person in your career journey so far?
So as I'd said previously, the Princess Trust have been amazing. It's not been an actual individual, but I am dyslexic and I was really afraid as a young person being dyslexic that I wasn't able to set up a business. And that's why I approached the trust to help with my dyslexia and to help implement stuff correctly in a maritime recruitment agency that was required. So the trust have been there for me from day one and have helped me to build up my confidence. So for me, having the trust as a charity to support a marine recruitment agency, and for me personally, has just been amazing because they've made me believe that you can be a young, successful woman and a young, successful person with a maritime business.
Yeah. Fantastic. And last question then. So if you were able to, what advice would you give your 16-year-old self?
So my advice would be to always say yes, because you don't know what's around the corner. I wasn't diagnosed with dyslexia till I was 19 years old. And I went on to do a degree in embroidery, again, because I didn't think I could read and write. I then couldn't get a job in embroidery, which is a sector that I absolutely love. And like I said in the beginning, stumbled across the maritime sector in recruitment. And if I hadn't have said yeah to that role, I wouldn't be where I am now. And I could no way have imagined myself being able to read and write emails to such a corporate sector. I mean, I now run an agency which is a corporate service. And if you would have told me that when I was 16, I would have never believed anything. I would have just laughed. So my advice would say, always say yes. You never know what's around the corner.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much for your time. Hello, it's Lorna Wagner from Maritime UK, and I'm joined this afternoon with Philip, Carilla and Hieronymus from Norton Rose Fulbright that are going to talk to us about their careers in maritime law. Good afternoon, all of you.
Good afternoon, Lorna.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Hello. So if we can start off by me getting you to introduce yourselves, please. Could you maybe tell us what your full name is, who you work for, what your job title is, that sort of information. Philip, could we start with you?
Yes, of course, Lorna. Hello there, everybody. My name is Philip Roche. I'm a partner here at Norton Rose in the shipping disputes team. I've been here for some 30 years now.
Wonderful, thank you. And Hieronymus?
My name is Hieronymus Pikaikis. I'm a shipping litigation associate with Norton Rose Fulbright in London.
Thank you. And Carilla, same question for you.
Hi everyone, my name is Carilla Bazinska. I am a trainee solicitor currently sitting in the transport disputes team at Norton Rose Fulbright.
Fantastic, thank you. So first question is, what drew you to the maritime sector? So Philip, let's start with you.
So I grew up in Banbury, which is about as far as you can get, but I joined the Navy at 18 and I did about 11 years in the Navy, and coming out of the Navy, I wanted to still use my nautical experience, so maritime law seemed to be a good option for me.
Fantastic. And Hieronymus, what's your career story been?
Yes, while I was doing my Bachelor of Laws, I really enjoyed commercial law. So when I was considering what to do for my master's, it felt natural to do shipping law because I'm from Greece. And after that, I became a shipping solicitor, and I've been doing this since.
Okay, that's fantastic. And Carilla, same question to you, please.
So I've had ambitions to be a lawyer since I was a teenager. So after studying for my law degree at Queen Mary University, I secured a training contract at Norton Rose Fulbright, where I chose to work in the shipping finance and now the shipping disputes teams, because we're really top tier in those areas. The work is really interesting. It's great to get to know all aspects of an industry, which is so important to our globalized world.
Fantastic. So all three of you have come in different ways, really, and you don't necessarily have to study law at university. You can do a different degree and convert. And I think you said before that that's the same for all careers, that you specialise further down the road. I want to talk to you about career goals and career highlights. So Philip, can we start with you? What's been your career highlight?
So, I mean, I've been here, as I said, almost 30 years. So there's been a lot of highlights. I won some good cases, dealt with some lovely clients, helped people out of holes. But and traveling, I've enjoyed traveling around the world, all sorts of strange and obscure places. But I suppose one highlight was going to Russia's top secret nuclear submarine factory, when we were helping with the salvage of the submarine Kursk, to help negotiate some contracts for building pontoons to help recover the submarine. That was a very weird and interesting week.
Fantastic. Do you speak Russian?
No, not really, no.
No, a little bit by the end of the week, possibly, I imagine. Yeah, there you go. Hieronymus, what about you? What's your career goal?
Partnership with a top shipping litigation team in London, I would say. Hopefully not on Rose Fulbright.
Wonderful. And Carilla, what about you? What's your career goal?
So I'm still in my training period, of which I have 1 year left. So my ultimate goal is to qualify as a lawyer at Norton Rose Fulbright, and of course to be a commercially minded and pragmatic lawyer for many years to come.
So you're still studying and still taking exams, are you?
I've taken lots of exams. Now it's the practical experience,
Right.
working alongside
Okay.
my colleagues, learning from them.
Excellent. Okay. So next question. Again, we'll come to you first, Philip. Who's been the most important person, or who have been the most important people in your career journey?
I mean, I suppose it was the people who opened my eyes to a career, that the fact that I could convert my history degree into a law degree and become a solicitor, and then those at Norton Rose who supported me, sponsored me through my time at Bristol Poly, and then some of the partners I've worked for who imparted great knowledge and wisdom and encouraged me on my way. I mean, too many to mention, I'm afraid.
No problem. Hieronymus, what about you? Who would you name as being the most important people in your journey?
I've been fortunate enough to work with many brilliant lawyers over the years, but I think the most important people to my journey would be my parents, who funded my studies to some extent to get me here today.
I'm sure they must be very, very proud of what you've achieved.
Hopefully.
They'll get to see this video anyway. Then they'll get to hear you say that. Carilla, what about you? Who've been the most important people on your journey?
I would also mention first and foremost my parents, who made the great sacrifice of moving to the UK in the 90s. So that's really key to where I am today, and also my colleagues at previous jobs who really helped me with interview skills and application forms and teaching me so much about the industry.
Fantastic. Okay, final question. Again, we'll start with you, Philip. If you had some advice for your 16-year-old self, what advice would that be?
I remember thinking I didn't want to do an office job at 16. I wanted to join the Navy and run away to sea. But I would say to myself, go and do that, and then go and convert to a career in law, because I've enjoyed both very much, and I've been very happy here over my time at Norton Rose Fulbright.
Fantastic. Hieronymus, what about you? What would you tell your 16-year-old self?
I would tell him the same I would tell him today, to stress less and no rush.
Yeah, okay, stop worrying.
Yes.
Yeah. And Carilla, what about you?
I would remind myself that everyone's journey is different, and although it's great to have a plan, those plans don't always work out exactly how we expect, but that's fine, and we end up where we're supposed to be eventually.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for shining a spotlight on maritime law for us. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
So my name is Artem, and I'm currently an apprentice at City Cruises. So it's a 2-year program, ultimately working towards my BML. So that's a boatmaster's license. And once I have my BML, hopefully with some training and some experience, I'll be able to crew and drive some of the larger boats we have. So I finished my A-levels, and then I joined City Cruises Pool. So it's another branch of the company over in Dorset. And I did 2 seasons in pool, so I enjoyed it very much. And then luckily I had the opportunity to transfer here to London as well. So that's how I ended up on the Thames. So I quite enjoy working on boats in general, be it City Cruises or, other things that I've done. Mostly because it's just such a variety here. So we have the larger boats, we have the jets, we have the dining cruises, functions, events, things like that. So it's quite a good variety. We've got different propulsion systems, so it's good for experience. And you get to meet a lot of people as well. So you get passengers every day, they're different. Occasionally we get some celebrities. And of course the crew as well. It's a lovely team. Everyone gets on with each other. We have a laugh occasionally, but when we need to be professional, we're professional. I think my most memorable experience here so far was when Manny Pacquiao, the boxer, he chartered out a boat. So we did a private charter for him and some of his family and friends. That was quite good, because we all had a little chat with him. We all spoke a little bit, took some photos. So as I mentioned before, it's just one of the perks of the job. You just get loads of people, lots of celebrities coming on the boats, and not in all, you can't really experience that with most jobs, to be honest. So I started off my 2-year program with very little experience, obviously, and then slowly we started working our way towards getting all the qualifications needed for the jet boats. So that involved going through the powerboat level 2 qualification, then we went through the intermediate powerboat qualification, and then ultimately the advanced powerboat. So once we had that, we had to get it commercially endorsed, and also we needed to do what's known as a local knowledge exam. So in order to be able to operate a boat commercially here on the Thames, you have to do the local knowledge. So you have to learn a large stretch of river, and you learn most of the things that stick out, most of the things that are in the way, such as buoys and piers, piles. So I've got through that, and now I'm working towards my BML, so boatmaster's license, in order to be able to work on the larger boats we have. So at the moment, as I mentioned, I want to get through all my training successfully, get all my qualifications, and then once that has happened, I want to get signed off on most of our boats, continue getting experience, and then hopefully become a safe and professional captain for City Cruises.
Hi, my name's Greg and I'm a captain at City Cruises. I was a mechanic. I used to fix cars before I started working here. Most aspects of the job, obviously driving the boats, we get to do commentaries and dealing with different people every day. I'd say my most memorable experience at City Cruises is when I got my licence. The progression's been quite quick. I started as an apprentice, moved up to mate quite quickly, and then within about 2.5 years I was made up to captain. In the future, just obviously keep progressing within the company and maybe be a captain on the flagship.
What is your most memorable experience at City Cruises?
Sorry.
Memorable, sorry guys. Start again.
Emerald Cruises is proud to present the newest member of our fleet, the Emerald Azura. We've redefined the sea cruise experience using all our skill and expertise of crafting the perfect river cruise. This 110-metre super yacht will carry up to 100 guests in high luxury on the world's most famous seas. The Azura has been specially designed to be able to sail right into the heart of the ports and harbours that only small ships can access. So when you step off the yacht, you'll be right in the heart of the town with the freedom to explore. On board the Azura, you'll find a range of 6 different stunningly styled suites and staterooms packed with special features and contemporary touches. Reflections Restaurant has been redesigned to reflect the oceans she navigates and boasts a selection of wines hand-picked by a sommelier to accompany lunch and dinner. And after days spent exploring, you can unwind in the Wellness Centre or work up a sweat in the gym with state-of-the-art equipment and a range of fitness classes. If you're looking for a bit of adventure, you can use the Marina platform and in selected ports, hire marina toys like snorkeling gear, paddleboards and flotation beds. The Marina platform also allows you to board our Zodiac and be whisked away on a selection of expert-led excursions. Back on board, the magnificent infinity-style pool is set at the aft of the yacht and is flanked by sun loungers and parasols, while the sky deck is home to the sun bar, with a spa pool and a large decked area that offers unrestricted views across the oceans she navigates. At every turn, you'll be met with high-end luxury combined with the inclusive, intimate Emerald Cruises experience.
Unique ports, hidden harbors, exotic cultures. Windstar's small, elegant ships take you off the beaten path and into authentic, immersive experiences. This is travel that gets you closer to the sea, the unexpected, and what you travel to find in the first place. Windstar Cruises, 180 degrees from ordinary.
I chose to do a marine apprenticeship on the River Thames because I figured it was an opportunity to better my education, beside that being able to earn a wage as well.
Like going around Plymouth, you know, like sort of seeing how it is and you know, outside of the Thames, learning on different boats.
The best part about the apprenticeship is just all the practical work really, and just being out on the boat.
I've enjoyed coming to Plymouth this week actually in the sun.
Coming up to the final stretch, today at the moment we're doing our Yachtmaster Coastal exam.
I've been in the marine industry my whole working life. I've had lots of qualifications. I need more qualifications to progress my career.
In 5 years' time, I'd like to see myself as a skipper.
In 5 years' time, I'd like to see myself as either a mate or a skipper on one of our vessels.
In 5 years' time, I see myself on some kind of ship somewhere out at sea, work my way up and be some kind of officer.
If you enjoy being out on a boat and enjoy being out on the water, then it's the perfect place because you get an education from it whilst getting paid.
My name's Rosie. I'm here at Denton Wharf where I work as a marine engineering apprentice, and we conduct maintenance on all our different vessels. A typical day for me can either start off in the workshop and finish in the workshop, or I could be working on our vessels in the engine room, servicing, fixing issues that have been apparent over the evening or the last week. I got a career in maritime through sailing. I've been sailing from a young age on the River Thames, and this led me to research into the Port London Authority for work experience. Some of the skills I've learned is I do a lot of fabrication, so that includes welding. I've learned a lot about hydraulics and how cranes work, but also the internals of an engine, all the different tiny details that you might not learn outside of engineering. The favourite aspects of my career are watching my skills and knowledge develop throughout the 4 years of my apprenticeship, encouraging young people to take up apprenticeships in engineering or in the maritime industry, and also just being on the river every day on different boats in different places. The Cutty Sark was a sailing ship, so it didn't have engines, but engineering today and on the Cutty Sark is exactly the same. There's always been someone looking after the vessel, making sure everything is in good working order. From a young age, I've always been sailing in and around the river, but this has led me to have a keen interest in the water, making sure it's environmentally safe, but also what else happens, such as shipping or engineering. And this has led me to have a very large passion for the sea and all it entails.
There's a 6-lane marine highway that runs from the North Sea to the centre of London. It can open up the world to you, but it can also offer an exciting range of careers and job opportunities.
name's Max Goodright. I work for Corey Energy and I'm a lighterman. A lighterman is someone who's in charge of cargo and goods, and we transport them up and down the river. And the things that drew me to it was just working outside, even working on boats is completely different to what everyone else around London works with. It's a really good opportunity. There's so many different career choices and jobs, and it's really enjoyable. I'd say take the opportunity, take the risk. There's a lot of people out here who are really experienced, they know what they're doing, and I couldn't ask for more really. I really enjoy it here.
My name's Leanne Kendall-Corr. I'm an apprentice lighterman for Corey's Energy. There's many different jobs. You can be a waterman, so you transport passengers up and down the River Thames. There are sightseeing trips, there's clippers, which are like river taxis, and you can also advance into offices if once you've fully qualified. There's loads of options. It's like being adopted into a family. All the men here have been lovely to me. All they want to see is that I progress. They take pride that I'm going to qualify, that I'm like their little bird and I will leave the nest eventually.
My name is Miles and I work for the Port of London Authority, and my current job is as an assistant marine surveyor. I make sure that boats and barges and all kinds of things that move on the river are safe. I joined the PLA as a marine trainee. I spent 3 years as a trainee learning about the River Thames and getting qualifications on the water. I really enjoy my job. I'm excited about coming to work in the morning because every day is different.
Hi there, my name's Sarah Kember. I'm a third officer with Stena Line. So I work on a ro-ro passenger ferry across the Irish Sea from Holyhead to Dublin, loading passengers and freight onto a ferry and then taking it across the Irish Sea. When I was 18, I joined the PLA for a marine training scheme, so I was a marine trainee. I spent 3 years with the Port of London Authority, and when I came to the end of my 3 years training with them, I applied to Trinity House and was lucky enough to be given a cadetship, which is a 3-year training scheme at sea, in which you spend about a year of it at college and about a year at sea. I absolutely loved it. You learn all sorts of really in-depth navigation, and you then get to learn about how to load ships, and you also get to travel the world.
So I'm Cora and I'm 23. I work for MBNA Thames Clippers, and I've recently become a captain here at Thames Clippers. So I started off selling tickets on the weekend, then I became crew, then from there I was trained up to become a captain. The favourite part of the job is every day at work isn't ever the same.
I'm Daniel Wade. I work for the Port of London Authority. I'm a Vessel Traffic Services Officer, which the easiest way to describe it is like an air traffic controller for ships. I've been in the PLA nearly 17 years now. They described the apprenticeship to me as sounding very exciting. You basically learn about the whole river, so it's not just you're not stuck to one place, and you've always got the opportunity to change jobs and move around.
My name is Stacey Felton and I work for London Port Health Authority. We work at the London Gateway Port and the Port of Tilbury, which is in Essex. My job role is the Port Health Assistant. I like getting involved with stuff that I didn't do before, so such as going on the ships, physically looking at the containers, and being able to help everyone else to do their job, if you know what I mean. But the thing I most enjoy the most is getting out of the office and doing physical things. Before I was quite a shy person. I didn't used to like talking to people that I didn't know, but as I'm going on board the vessels now on the water, I am talking to new people every day.
My name's Jack Marin and I work for Livets Launches, and my role here is a deckhand, so I'll do the rope work, helping the gangway, watching the public get on if they're on the passenger boats, or helping if we're working on the barges, moving like cargo, maybe like the rubbish from barges to barges up and down the pier. It's for 2 years, and by the end of the 2 years I'm hopefully going to get my BML licence. Basically this is a boatmaster's licence, and it gives me the qualification to sail anything up and down the river, so pretty much makes me captain. When I told my friends, they were really shocked because they thought I was too young, and I said no, they take Livets Launches take apprentices at 16 years old for a 2-year course. I was like, that's fantastic, and I said to him, the only way dreams come true is if you make them. Since working here, all the crew have made me so welcome, and if I needed any jobs like helped with, I'd ask them and they'd help me straight away.
Okay, so in 10 years' time, I'd either like to be a ship's captain or I'd like to be a pilot.
I'll be happy being a captain on the river.
I would like to work my way up in Corries, lighterman, mate, a captain, and we'll see from there.
My ambition now is to become a harbour master.
There's certain things that I can't do which the officers can, and you have to have a special degree to do that. So yeah, that would be my next step, hopefully.
10 years time, I think an office job, but still related to driving a boat.
My dream job is basically command a ship up and down the river like Livets are right now.
There's lots of different opportunities on the river. If you want to work all the hours possible under the law, you can work that, or you can work a few days. Go and talk to them when they come out of work. You can even go and spend a day out there to see if that's the job for you.
I came from an inland town. I didn't know anything about working at sea, and if I can do it coming from a completely non-maritime background of farmers and builders, then anybody can.
Like to know more about a career on the tidal Thames? Then get in touch.
Hi, I'm Neil Bellinger. I'm the Workshop and Mobile Equipment Manager at London Gateway Port. We first used apprentices at London Gateway because we saw from the applications that we were getting for technician posts that there was not enough available individuals in the marketplace with the skills that we required. So we realised quite quickly that we would need to train up our own people to supplement what we were bringing in from the market in the local area and the wider reaches as well.
Hi, I'm Aaron, a fourth year engineering apprentice, mechatronics at DP World at London Gateway. I became an apprentice, especially in engineering, because I've always been fascinated as a kid by the way things work, taking things apart as a baby, possibly electrocuting myself. I've always just enjoyed tinkering with things, and as it progressed through school, I decided that engineering would probably be the pathway that suits me best, and I didn't think university would suit my lifestyle, home lifestyle, so I decided to go for a apprenticeship in engineering.
The main obstacle recruiting apprentices is exposure to the availability of apprenticeships at London Gateway. Getting the message out there to potential candidates is the biggest challenge that we still face.
So one of the other problems I faced during my time here is, especially with current affairs like the pandemic affecting our studies, college life, not being able to attend, online learning being a struggle while you're actually on site working, to find time to finish your 20% training off the job, it's been quite a challenge.
The apprenticeship programme is giving us exactly what we set out for. We're getting an experienced, mature individual that has been moulded to be the kind of technician, employee even, that we would like to see at London Gateway. The successes have been, we've seen a number of individuals that have passed through the apprenticeship programme already, although it's in its infancy still, that have gone on to be very key members of our engineering staff. You know, they haven't just gone out and they're slowly developing. They're already, say, I can think of an individual that's only 18 months out of his time, and already he's probably one of the top performers in his particular team. In the near future, in 2021, we'll be recruiting another 7 apprentices, and we continue to see the apprenticeship programme as being a key part of the engineering team and helping us, enabling us to provide the essential maintenance that the operations team need to keep the port running.
I've never really wanted a normal office job, didn't want to be in an office all day working 9-5 hours, and this is a fantastic opportunity to see the world and get such high quality training at the same time, and it's something just completely different.
Also the idea of being able to travel whilst I work, not working in an office or like a typical normal environment, was quite exciting and quite interesting to me.
So no matter where you are on the ladder, whether you're a cadet, you know, doing mooring stations and taking charge of that under supervision, or whether you're the captain doing a difficult manoeuvre, there's always a challenge there, and it's never, no 2 days are ever the same.
Obviously doing your cadetship, knowing that you're with a company that's going to take you on and you'll go right into position is obviously gives you that peace of mind. And when you start off, you do have the opportunity to progress, to work your way up.
Quite a lot of my ancestors, I suppose, were naval. The other thing is, quite luckily, my cousin is a second officer on board Britannia at the moment, so I kind of had a family insider telling me how good it was and what he's been doing ashore, and so that kind of inspired me to pursue a life at sea.
For school leavers, I mean, if you're in the same position I was in, where you could go to university but it's not really your cup of tea, or you don't fancy being 30 grand in debt and after 3 years not have a job, then this sort of idea is perfect. You see a lot of the world, you meet a lot of different people, you get a lot of different experiences. You know, you get a job, a well-paid job at the end of it, a good skill set, so it's something I would definitely recommend.
Hi, my name's Claire. I'm one of the careers course advisors here at UKSA. I'm just going to take you through some training options that we offer here on the Isle of Wight. We were established in 1987, and Noel and Sylvia Lister put in a generous donation of £4 million to create UKSA. We are primarily a youth charity, but also since progressing within the industry over the past 30 years, we've been able to then progress into maritime careers, including our yachting, super yachting and water sports career training. We are the #1 provider for RYA training in the world, as well as we have also launched 275 careers a year, which basically means that our 16 and 18 plus students come to us and do our professional training, which then goes into that we have 785 professional students who come to further their career within the industry. 90% of our students have rated us outstanding across the board, and also 78% of our students are under 25. This also means, as a youth charity, we're able to get students through and really progress them within the career. Even if they're 8 years old, or when they come to us at maybe 16 or 18, this means that they really can kickstart their career within the industry. So UKSA offer further education for 16 plus. So we work in conjunction with the Isle of Wight College, and we run 2 separate courses. So we have the Adventurous Outdoor Activities as well as the Maritime Foundation. When it comes to the Adventurous Outdoor Activities, this is for students who want to get into the industry, whether it's in water sports or sport, but also it's a pathway into our super yacht cadetship, as you get UCAS points which will enable you to go forward for the foundation degree as well. When it comes to the Maritime Foundation, it's 80% practical and 20% theory. This means that you'll be on the water for the majority of the course, and by the end of the training, this means that you'll be able to enter the industry with the qualifications gained, as well as a level 3 certificate in sports and physical activities. So once you hit 18 plus, UKSA are able to offer an array of different yachting training. So first up, we've got our Super Yacht Cadetship. So this is our flagship course that offers a structured way into the industry, working towards your Officer of the Watch modules and being able to work in the industry and progress. This can be over 4 years, but you can also extend this depending on the progression, but also experience that you're gaining within the industry. This only happens once a year, and we do have a selection process for this, and this really is something for students to look forward to, especially going in for college at 16. It means that then they have that progressional route and that focus to then at 18 plus to be able to start their career in the maritime industry. We also then have our short courses, so we have our Super Yacht Crew training course and our hospitality training. These are great to dip your toe into the industry and really gauge what the super yacht industry is all about. The hospitality training covers specific hospitality areas, including our guest modules. So that includes our mixology, some wine tasting, flower arranging, but also getting to know the industry overall and working within the interior of the boat. When it comes to working as a deckhand, so looking after the exterior of the boat, that's where maybe you look into the crew training. So the crew training is a 3-week course, and you also get to spend 5 days in a workshop gaining valuable experience and knowledge of how to be a deckhand on board, but then also gaining the experience and qualifications to be able to be qualified and work as a deckhand. We have our Professional Yacht Master Offshore. So this course is our 16-week course that will opens up not only the super yachting industry, but yachting overall. Pathways into the industry include yacht delivery, flotilla skipper, being a mate on board, as well as being an entry-level deckhand, whether that's in super yachting but also wind farm work. The wind farm industry is really thriving at the moment, with the government putting in loads of money. So this has also been popular for people looking to progress within that side of the industry as well. This is something that we run monthly, and we also take 10 students per course. So if you're looking to then train with us to do the course, you will then gain your RWA Yacht Master Offshore, plus valuable other qualifications and experience, plus the industry knowledge to be able to then kickstart your way into the yachting career. So UKSA offer water sports career training for 18 plus, but also 16 plus, depending on which course you're looking to do. We offer an array of 3 different courses, including our water sports instructor training, our water sports academy, but as well as our summer dinghy instructor training. With the dinghy instructor training, this is normally in August, and this is available for 16 plus who are looking to get into the industry, be it before university or college, or other students who are looking to gain experience into the industry from September onwards. When it comes to the water sports instructor training, this is our 11-week course focusing on 2 specific disciplines, so your dinghy and your windsurf. You also go forward for your multi-hull endorsement, as well as your kayak and your stand-up paddleboarding training. This course will open up the world when it comes to these qualifications. The RWA qualifications are recognised internationally, and this means you can not only work in the UK, but you can also work abroad in the countries like Greece, Italy, Sardinia. You can even go down to UAE, but also transfer them down to the other side of the world into Australia. So with the UKSA Water Sports Academy, this is our 11-week course focusing on 2 disciplines, dinghy and windsurf, as well as gaining your endorsement in keel boating. UKSA then will employ you for 2 summer seasons on completion of your training. This means that not only do you get training at UKSA and get to know the centre, but also this means that you then have employment for those 2 seasons to be able to progress as an instructor. UKSA also look to put you forward for 3 qualifications to make you as transferable as possible while out on the water. This is available for 18 to 25-year-olds, and you have to go through a selection process for this. This really is a course for students who are really looking to get into the industry, but just need that little bit of structure to be able to help them and kickstart their career. We have many different training locations while you're training with us, including the Isle of Wight, but also the Solent as well. If you're doing your Yachtmaster, then you'll also end up going over to Falmouth, over to Dover, but also Brighton and Eastbourne. The Solent offers a fantastic training ground for our students and also has a range of different tidal ranges as well as varied wind conditions. We also have a fleet of 5 yachts. We have 4 brand new 45-foot Genots, plus we have one 65-foot phare. We also have a variety of different water sports kit and equipment, including our dinghies and our keelboats, as well as our ribs. Our training facilities also include a modern lecture rooms, as well as specialised classrooms, including our radio room, personal survival room, engineering, as well as yacht maintenance workshops. We also have 2 simulator suites, which is available for our MCA students, and we recently opened our UKSA training centre. So this includes our super yacht galley, as well as deck officer training facilities. So on our campus, we are a hostel style accommodation. So that means you have bunk bed style rooms. This means it sets you up for getting into season air life. We also have an on-site bar, which is great for networking, as well as a gym and a sports hall that is for use for our students. We also have a heated indoor swimming pool. So when you do your personal survival techniques, you do it here at UKSA. We also have free Wi-Fi across our site, as well as a laundry service available. All food and your drink is served out of our canteen, and we cater for all dietary requirements and serve you 3 meals a day. We also have our mentoring and welfare while at UKSA. So we have a welfare officer that will look after you and introduce herself when you start, but also you'll have a student liaison before, during and after your course. You'll also have mentoring to make sure that you're happy here at UKSA, but also to go through your CV and your cover letter during your period of time with us. So we have a variety of partnerships with many crew agents as well as companies. So when you're looking into the super yacht or yachting industry, we'll be able to point you in the direction of where to find those jobs, whether it's from dock walking or either joining the crew agents. Or if you're looking at water sports instructor training, we'll also point in the direction of the companies that have vacancies for their summer seasons. And this can include Nielsen, Mark Warner, also Rockley Water Sports, or even ourselves. We recruit also for our water sports instructors. If you're looking to train at UKSA, be it next year or this year, please do give us a phone call or an email. Thank you very much for listening.
Forget 9 to 5. It's 95% of all trade that's moved by sea.
And I'm a part of it.
Me.
Fish fingers for tea.
2 Bs in a C.
From double signs to container giants.
Skate park mission to bridge watch session.
Driving mum insane. Lifting a new car with a crane.
You can work your way up, they said. And I've never felt closer to the bridge. And it's true. The journey. Inspiring.
All cylinders firing, night shift tiring, but 3 months on and 3 months off.
Good travel, they said. Photo of me in the Met.
Gaming all day long. Waste of time. Wrong. Transferable skills that I never imagined. Teasing seagulls with chips. Only watching the ships. Now world-leading tech at my fingertips.
From kid doing school play to knowing that someday I'll captain this ship. It sounds like a script, but it's real.
50,000 tons of steel.
And I feel
grateful.
For the place that persuaded us that a job much more than
bright-coloured containers could be.
For me, a career at sea, the best decision I made.
I'm helping the world now, and I connect it by trade.
Start every day with a brew. Not a bad view, but always remembering where I grew up on the deck.
New day,
new adventure.
Never the same, so many hats.
Laugh with the lads.
A FaceTime with Dad.
Decent paycheck.
High tech.
To Quebec.
Clean deck.
To see or not to see.
It's a no-brainer.
For me.
When I was at school, the normal route was to go to university, and we didn't know a lot about apprenticeships. But I found out about the BAE Systems Hire Apprenticeship through my sister when she joined the company, and she really enjoyed it, so I decided to apply for BAE and university to decide which one I wanted to go for. I chose to do an apprenticeship instead of going to university so that I could get my degree funded for me through BAE Systems. It was at Lancaster University and it was a foundation degree in project management. I also got a higher apprenticeship in project management as well. I knew I'd made the right decision to do an apprenticeship when my friends finished their degree courses and were struggling to find employment. Doing the higher apprenticeship allowed me to earn while I was doing my degree and then gave me a job to go to at the end of it. I felt really valued as an apprentice because I wasn't expected to be given so much responsibility. One of my placements allowed me to be a bid manager and manage a project from start to finish alongside the MOD. I moved around the business in a variety of roles, so it's given me the skills for any career path I want to take. The benefits of doing an apprenticeship is not only getting your degree, but also having years of industry experience and a higher apprenticeship qualification. Doing an apprenticeship has helped me with my professional skills in work, but it's also helped me with a lot of personal skills. I'm now a lot more confident and find it a lot easier to make friends. Whilst on the apprenticeship, I won the National Business Service Apprentice of the Year award from the National Skills Academy for Nuclear. I was really surprised when I was nominated for the award because I'd never won anything before, but it made me feel really happy and valued when I did win. Here in Barrow, we design, build and commission submarines for the Royal Navy. Every time I see one of the submarines, I'm overwhelmed by the scale and complexity of the product and how many people contribute to building them. One of the most exciting things I've seen has been HMS Artful going to sea. I'm Amy and I was a Project Management Hire Apprentice at BAE Systems.
I was diagnosed with dyslexia at quite an early age and actually worsened throughout school, and it got to a point where my secondary year physics teacher sat me down and told me that engineering kind of wasn't for me. Through the help of places like Dyslexia Scotland, I applied for this apprenticeship 4 years ago and haven't looked back since. Through the support that I've been given after I got onto the programme, it's never something that's worried me after that, and what I really would want to say to people that are in my position that might have a learning disability like dyslexia, that it isn't a barrier and that these apprenticeships can be done and the support is there to do it. I'm Glenn and I'm an engineering technician apprentice here at BAE Systems.
You don't need to come in with any maritime knowledge or background at all. Because of the way the course was structured with the academics, the practical and the time away at sea, by the time you reach the end of it, you have a very good understanding of what the job is and you come out absolutely knowing what it is you have to do when you step into that job on day one.
We've got practical parts of the course and we also go to sea, which means we get a kind of opportunity to do everything and get out and about on the water as well, which is good.
I love the facilities at Solent. It's really good learning environment.
Facilities they've got over in Warsash for the boat training and for the firefighting are excellent. It's one of the best fire schools in the UK. The guys there are amazing.
We've got little places like this where you do the practical and short courses, lifeboat training and very practical things.
The city's great down here, you're in a great environment, you're near the water, you've got that environment around you, you're around the sea, and the opportunities you get, the support network around you is fantastic.
The lecturers and teachers are really supportive. I have trouble with learning disabilities, so I've got dyslexia, and through it they've been nothing but helpful. They're always there, they're really good lecturers.
They know our weaknesses, but also our strengths. We can go at their office at any time. They're always available to help us. So I think I couldn't ask better.
Lecturers we had, kind of that balance of specialists and experienced people, you really picked up everything.
They care so much about what they're doing because they're from the industry themselves as well. They understand it. They've had experience at sea, and because they've had that experience, it makes it almost more relatable.
The university has really good connection to the industry, so we get to have guest lecturers come talk to us and share their experience and knowledge, which has been really nice for our students.
Our course provides a lot of opportunities. Each year they run the Maritime Week. We have the opportunity to network with people from the industry for an entire week. There is conference and then networking experiences. The real life experience that the teaching provides here. They train you since day one into the working experience.
I'm a qualified officer of the watch, and without the support of Solent and Warsash, I wouldn't be here.
I've learned absolutely loads here. I can't knock it at all. I really enjoy what I do. It's a great place to be. I just really enjoy it.
I would recommend coming to Solent. I've been with them for 3 years now, and I've nothing but positive things to say. It's a really good uni, and I'm really happy.
My name's Andrew McFarlane. I studied Yacht and Powercraft Design, BEng, graduating in 1995. And now I work for Red Bull Technology as Head of Composite Design. I was always very interested in sailing boats and as a child. I didn't realise you could do a degree or at the time I think it was a diploma in yacht design, but when I found that out, it became the go-to place for me, really. I think I'd probably heard that some fairly well-known yacht designers had done the course, and that it was really the only place, I think, at the time, certainly in this country or within reach, that I could study naval architecture and yacht design. It certainly lived up to my expectations when I arrived here. Obviously the Solent and the Hamble are just down the road, so sailing wasn't a problem, and the course was very good too. What stood out to me about the course was the enthusiasm of the lecturing staff, the facilities here, the test tank and the workshops and all of that sort of thing, really. It was very different to school. It was focused. It was something I really wanted to do. So that's what made the big difference, I think. What the course here taught me was the basics of engineering as well, things that I would use every day, you know, without unconsciously, really. And basics of engineering are sort of transferable, really, across whatever you end up doing. Yeah, I took away from Southampton lifelong friends and a career, really. I mean, by the time I'd finished here in 1995, I had a job lined up for after graduation, and from there, really, I haven't looked back. So really, it set me up completely for what I do now. I went to work for a company called SP Technologies in Southampton. And for 3 years, I think it was 3 years, I worked on the composite design, engineering of racing yachts and other types of marine craft. And then in 1999, I moved up to Milton Keynes to work for Stuart Grand Prix. And in its various incarnations since then, my career has developed from a sort of a designer to a senior designer to a head of department, which is what I do now. I think my main tips would be to concentrate on your academic studies, to do as well as you can at those, obviously, but also to make sure that your CV has some value-added other things, some other strings to your bow, if you like, to make you a little bit more saleable. I think my career highlight so far has been my involvement in the team winning 4 consecutive constructors and drivers world championships, and hopefully there'll be more.
So today we're kind of pulling together all the skills that we learned over the course of the year, and we're racing our model yachts that we designed from scratch over about 10 weeks.
We designed it all on CAD and then built it at university or at home, and then came here to race them today.
So, the boats were built in the university lab where we have good facilities for glass fiber working. And yeah, some built out of wood at home, but most of them were built in the university lab.
Righty-ho, thank you very much for coming, everybody. There's 2 categories. Obviously there's a prize for the downwind, but there are 3 prizes for the difficult upwind.
In terms of making it physically, it was a lot of help from our lecturers, but the design is all ours, and it's obviously using ideas that we learned over the course of the year.
I think this sort of project really helps with the future and going into business because we get a first-hand idea of the whole process. It's a practical sort of seeing how our designs and how everything that we put into a design is actually affected by reality.
It was very competitive. The races across there, you all got across there quite quickly. We got 3 very good winners. It was close at times, there could have been more, but it was a good fleet. So in 3rd place we have Felix Tratner. Elias Pakanen, well done again. Noah McWaters, well done. Well done. And now for the downwind race, Madeline Arnold. So well done.
It's been great, yeah, today's been great.
Righty-ho, thank you very much for coming, everybody.
It's a bit of fun at the end of the day. That's what this kind of day is about.
I became a cadet because I wanted to try something different. I wanted the not normal 9 till 5 job. I enjoy the training because it's hands-on, it's in the field. It's like an apprenticeship at sea. You've got guys there to support you and help you for everything. They've done exactly the same course, so they know what you're going through and how they can help you and get the best out of you. You could go anywhere in the marine industry with this sort of qualification. Do your research, see what side of the industry you want to go into because there's plenty to do. You've got container ships, oil, cruise ships, super yachts. There's so many different avenues you can go down.
What I most love is when you're at sea is the people you meet, as well as all these fancy places you go to. It's the fact you can walk onto a ship at 18 years old full of average age of 50 and fit in, and everyone you become a big family, and people are just incredible and are happy to teach you anything you want to know, and that's what I most enjoy about it. So hopefully I want to get onto either a super yacht or a cruise ship and then work my way up, hopefully end up as a master mariner at some point in my life. Don't let anybody say you have to do this, you have to do that. If you want to go to sea and you want to do this as a career, don't be afraid to tell someone this is what I want to do.
a women's place, I decided it was up to me where that was. And it was in the Navy. Yep, I felt it. Said that I wanted the night. Get it, told me you're coming, then I'm ready. Ship looking rocky, but I'm steady. Yep, I felt it. Said that I wanted the night. Get it, told me you're coming, then I'm ready. Ship looking rocky, but I'm steady. So hear me out, let it register. Going all out for the minister. And the seminar, preaching the word, I'm not to a foreigner. Chasing that dream to my team looking heavier. Hungry for long, so the grind's looking scarier. Couldn't be me, and that makes me feel happier. Yep, I built it. Told me you're coming, then I'm ready. Ship looking rocky, but I'm steady.
What I do is I look after people. I like the customers to feel at home in the lounge. There was a nurse and she was very, very tired. And when I gave her a wee blanket, she says, "Oh, I can't believe you gave me a blanket." So her husband actually put it on Twitter. And I thought, just for a blanket.
What it's all about, really, just being yourself, you know. Yeah, you love people, and that's all about me. I love people. I love meeting different nationalities and so forth. I used to sail over the world, and that's what intrigued me, and that's why I'm still at sea. I'm from Jamaica, so even when it's cloudy, a cloudy day, the sun's still shining.
I am a team leader for freight operations and customer services. There was 2 guys were booked for the PM vessel. From what they were telling me, everything that could have went wrong did go wrong. They didn't have any money with them whatsoever. They just wanted to go home. They just had a bad time. So I grabbed the 2 of them a couple of sandwiches, a couple of coffees and some buns. And we also managed to get them on the earlier vessel too, so we managed to get them home earlier. It's the smallest of things that you could do for somebody that could make the biggest impact.
You walk around the engine room, and I always tell a new engineer, you look with your eyes, you smell, because smell is always a good thing, and you listen. You use your senses a lot. Always carry one of these. It's a shifting spanner. Every engineer carries one of these. I've had this for about, this must be about 10 years. It actually sits at the side of my bed when I'm in bed. Sad life.
Things that happen, you know, as I say, if they win awards or if it's a big birthday or a celebration, if they've been in hospital or things like that, I try and keep a note of that and follow up. Whether that's just a phone call to say that they're back at work and how they've been, or we send flowers or a cake, but try and make that little thing, you know, the big thing that's important.
I was on night shift. We were just tidying up the 0330 boat, and I got a radio call. There was a lady in awful distress. Her father had passed away, and I gave her a little hug. I says, look, you jump into the passenger seat and I'll take your car up onto the boat. It is a very small thing, but it's made such a big difference to that person.
In Vietnam, I went on like a food tour at night time, and they took you around all the back streets to this little tiny sort of hole in the wall street food places. It was fantastic, vibrant, pungent. The flavours are amazing. I like to think myself, if you eat my food, you can tell that there's somebody who cares about what they're doing is behind it.
I think for me the big little thing would be the constant detail that we have within what areas on board the ship. Tidying the ship up, getting it ready for the passengers coming out, every little detail must be right. One for me that I always remember was do it nice or do it twice. What it means is you do it right the first time round. If you don't, then you need to go back and do it again. It works.
I had bought 2 fluffy dusters so that we can do the chrome very quickly. One for myself and one for a colleague. I just think of things and just do it. I enjoy meeting different people. I became friendly with a lot of them, and I've been invited to weddings, I've been invited to christenings. And you just have this bond, there's a bond with them.
The most satisfying times for a captain on a ship like this is when you achieve your targets, you achieve your results. These can be in many different ways. It's very satisfying to dock the ship in very, very bad weather safely, put the ship alongside, and discharge the passengers ashore who've paid for your services to get you safely to the other port.
One of the other freight drivers had mentioned it was somebody's birthday, and so it wasn't a special request as such. I'm sort of thinking, oh gosh, they're away from home and have left their family, and so it's just something as simple as going down to the barista to get, should it be a cake or a wee straw with a bit of yellow paper and to make it look like a candle, and just to come out and in my operatic voice sing happy birthday. And you're always sort of looking to see if there is something that you can do.